So there's the well known at this point, the Hell Week, right?
Correct.
That gets talked about. What kind of, can you describe like sort of what, the training entailed, and what kind of physically and mentally was it like?
Sure. So all the elite commando groups, whether it's U.S. or allies, they all have some kind of a selection, rite of passage event. In the SEALs, it has a lot to do with cold water and a lack of sleep and constant physical activity to try to drain your reserves and to amplify the voice in your head. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. So you end up with anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks of training prior to Hell Week. It's that period before Hell Week is modified and changed over the years, but it's roughly that much time. In my time, we lost half the class before Hell Week. So we started Hell Week with about 62 trainees, and no real idea while you're in the program going through it why everybody's leaving. You're just coming back at the end of the day, and you go into your room and there's 2 empty beds, all the linen's gone, and you're like, what happened to Joe and Bob? And they'll whisk them out of the environment. They'll get them someplace else. You never get to talk to them again. Back in my time, we didn't have all the internet connectivity, so you couldn't, maintain, couldn't text them and say what happened. It was like a mystery. It was like alien abduction. Boom, gone. Which also heightened the psychology of the whole, experience, and on purpose, I think. So Hell Week is 5 days long. They used to put you in the barracks and they attack you in the barracks on Sunday night. That attack is multiple instructors coming in with grenades and machine guns, belt-fed machine guns, making sound. These aren't real grenades that'll kill people. They're sound makers, but inside of a structure, they're pretty loud. And they come in and they have smoke grenades outside the building, and it's to disorient you, shock you, and then they get you into the main compound and start spraying water all over everybody with a fire hose. And there's probably 15 to 20 instructors swarming the class. This period is called Breakout. It changes a little bit over time. Sometimes it's an early breakout, mid-evening on Sundays. It's gone as much as 3 a.m. into Monday morning. You try to trick them a little bit, try to get them to stay up, anticipating. It's all, again, a mind game. And then at some point during the probably 30 to 40 minutes that they're being messed with in the compound, the class leaders are given instructions for the first evolution. And that first evolution is probably going to be something significant, like a 5-mile ocean paddle at night, or a 10-mile run on the beach in soft sand. It's going to be something that's going to not just stress them out, but it's going to sound so significant that as everybody goes out to wherever they have to go to start that first event, you've already got 10 people that quit. They've already said enough. Now, just to give you a little perspective, I went through Hell Week, obviously. I came back 8 years later and I ran Hell Week. So I actually ran about 8 Hell Weeks. I was in charge of the first phase of SEAL training. I was responsible for the running of Hell Week. I was responsible for a team of 14 instructors and how we choreographed everything. And that's when I found out about the built-in psychology, the exact plan. And it was a plan. It was a book that thick, filled with instructions and guidance, and don't push too hard, and how to just get the tempo just right, and the purpose of every one of the events, the psychological impact, throttle forward, throttle back, give them some time to think, push forward, don't let them think, come back, give them some time to think, all orchestrated. When you're in it, it's total chaos. You don't think any of it. You think they're just coming up with stuff. And although it's not scripted, a lot of the instructors will talk amongst each other in front of the students like they're just coming up with it. So when you think it's crazy and the crazy instructors can do whatever they want to do with you, you have a loss of control, and you don't see how you're going to make it through whatever crazy they come up with. And your mind starts thinking things 10 times worse than we could ever legally do. And you get more people quitting because they start listening to that voice in their head. So, and I came back later on, several years after that, as an officer in charge of the third phase of SEAL training. But because I had so much experience with the Hell Week, and the people that were actually running BUDS knew me from the first iteration, I put them through as SEAL students. So they kept pulling me into the oversight tasks of these other Hell Weeks. So all in with my Hell Week and those two tours, probably 12 or 13 Hell Weeks that I either observed 12 to 12 or so and went through one. Sleep deprivation all through the 5 days, very little like cat naps given as gifts or rewards for certain activities, winning contests, physical contests usually. And at the end of our class, I think we ended up with about 23 out of the 62 that started. So 5 days later.
Wasting my time.
You just can't help yourself, can you?